Greetings and salutations, I'm Zook, your lovable Norman, and welcome to Geeks Anonymous. In this video, we'll be leveling our third job classes and showing you additional Zenny making techniques as we explored episode 16.1 of Ragnarok Online, the Royal Banquet. We last left off with Kaz ascending to Ranger, and myself reaching Rune Knight. Our journey begins in the Eden group, where we find our old friends Reno and Lumen. They congratulate us on achieving our third job, and when we press why they haven't yet, they will tell you that they had their own reasons for not taking the job quest yet. How delightfully nebulous. After speaking with your friends, you'll gain a bit of XP and they'll tell you about the Dimensional Rift. If you haven't been there already, you'll need to speak with the cat hand agent Gek to be teleported to the Dimensional Gap in Sograt Desert. Be careful as this map can spawn incarnations of Marok, dangerous MVPs that can destroy you at this level. Head directly east until you find a cat who will teleport you to another part of the rift. Head north to find another cat, who will teleport you again to mid-camp, just south of a teleportation device that will take you to the rift between worlds. Here we met an old man who wishes to relive a memory of his granddaughter, Sarah, a prominent figure in the Ragnarok lore. Obliging in his request, we create the instance and enter. Sarah's memory requires level 99, and is a great repeatable instance for its high-priced food drop items. To start the instance, once you're inside, speak with Sarah, and after the conversation ends, walk towards the nearest warp portal to your left, and you'll appear on the upper left corner of Payon Town. Talk with Sarah Irene again and she'll disappear and guards and monsters will spawn. Defeat them to continue. Continue to look around for Sarah Irene and defeat those monsters. You should be moving in the directions as listed. First, kill all the guards and wolves. The portal to the second section will open up on the eastern side. Then, kill all the guards and desert wolves. The portal to the third section will open on the southern side. Kill all the guards, wolves, and desert wolves. And then the fourth portal will open in the northern centered side. This time, kill all the guards, and the portal to the fifth section will open on the upper west side. Finally, you're gonna talk to Doyen Irene. Kill all of the guards and then fight Doyen self. After defeating him, speak with him again and walk west until you meet Sarah. The portal will open and you will leave. Speak with Leon once again, you will gain 770,000 base XP and 1 million job XP for the first time you do this, and 550 each additional time you repeat it. Selling all of the items in Sarah's memory, we were able to average about 300,000 Zenny per run, and this can be done daily. But be sure when you are running the instance that you keep any green salad, spicy bows, and fruit mixes that you obtain, as these are used in future quests. We then return to Reno and Lumen, who speak of a royal messenger who is seeking us. This NPC can be found in most major cities, and finding him in Prontera, we're told to have been summoned to witness the crowning of the new king of Rune Midgards. The messenger will direct you to Prontera Palace, where you will find an NPC named Servant Bell who directs you to your personal quarters. Following his direction and heading to the room furthest west of your current position, we meet Servant Bell again. Bell explains the importance of the 7 royal families and tells you to introduce yourselves to each one of the family heads. Now you can visit the families in any order, but for sake of ease, we began with the adjacent room and worked our way in order, starting with Hein. You'll enter the room and find a discussion between Niall and the Hines, and get the feel that not all the family members see eye to eye. After Niall leaves, Friedrich, Peter, and Kronecker introduces themselves. Heading north to the next room, you'll find Skya and Niall having a discussion in the hallway. Continuing to the third room of the western wing, we speak with Skya and Spisa of the Nereus family. After their brief introduction, we head to the final room of this wing and speak with the Walters families, Ian and Eisenhower. Head back to the town hall where the red carpet is, but this time head east. Continue past the first fork and straight towards the room past the swooning fangirls into the Vigner's room. Here you're introduced to Louvier, Catherine, Jurgen, Katrine, and Isaac. Make sure to exhaust all of the dialogue from all of the NPCs in this room, and you will learn that the fangirls are here for Jurgen as he is pressured to take a wife, but none so far appeal to his fancy. There might be reasons for that. The next room north introduces us to the Richard family, where we meet Poe and his butler. The butler will provide you with a side quest, but this requires 140, so we'll keep it until later. Enter the third room and you will be abruptly stopped by the guards, as this room is occupied by the seated queen, Catherine D. Geoberg herself, where you learn of their prestigious history of kings and knights of Rune Midgards. She speaks of a person named Scarlet, who we will be meeting with later. The final room introduces us to the Rogenberg families, Maximilian, Helmut, Wolf, and Agnes. You watch a small exchange of snobbiness between the family as their steward Meyer are issued an apology on behalf of Wolf. Now that you've introduced yourself to all of the families vying for the throne, return to your room on the western wing and speak with Servant Bell once more to be awarded with experience and 10 honor tokens. We'll hold on to these for now and go into more details later in this video. Note that if you spoke with and exhausted all of the NPC's dialogue, you should have the following quests: the Royal Richard, participating in the Banquet, the Geobergs, in search of the Guardian Knight, and searching for the clue. Exit your room and continue east to the Royal Hall, and you will be interrupted by 2 people speaking. Continue to the carpet and head north, where you will be abruptly yelled at by the Royal Chef. But we have more pressing matters at the moment. Enter the hall, the herald will announce your presence with a fanciful title. Continue on and speak with Spisa at the base of the eastern stairs. During their political pleasantries, Niall is offered some champagne, who quickly excuses himself from the floor. Spisa points out that the champagne was supposedly as light as fruit juice, and suspicion begins to rise as we are instructed to follow Niall. Heading towards his room, you overhear 2 people talking about the drug they slipped into the prince's drink. Skya will appear and have us enter Niall's room, where we will check on the prince before continuing. Head back to Servant Bell in your quarters and you'll be introduced to the fabulous Nilam. He'll teleport you to a library-like area where you will need to queue up for a solo instance. Heading into the ritual chamber, you'll find all of the families gathered in the front of Kroneker, who goes forward with the ceremonies. During this ceremony, however, Peter Hine is viciously attacked by an organization known as the Heart Hunters. These Heart Hunters are seeking the fragment of Ymir, but the families are unsure of what he seeks. The Heart Hunters attack, and it's up to you to help fend off the aggressors. After dispatching the Heart Hunters, you will find that the crown, Terra Gloria, has gone missing. Leave the Hall of Consciousness, where you will speak with Kroneker, Niall, and the others. Be sure to exhaust all of the NPC's dialogue until only NPCs that remain are Nilam and the Librarian. Speak with Nilam, the Librarian, and then Nilam again before being directed to the Guardian Knight down the hall. Speaking with the Guardian Knight will teleport you into the secret entrance in Prontera Prison, where you will speak with an NPC to go to the Outer side. Head out of the prison, into the banquet hall, then back to your room, where you will once again speak with Servant Bell. We are directed to Spisa, in the 3rd room of the western wing. Finally, we visit the Hines, who will reward us with 400,000 base and job XP, as well as 20 more honor tokens, and this concludes the main quest of 16.1, the Royal Banquet. However, our duties are not quite done yet, and it's time to finish the family's side quests. Now that we've unlocked an instance to enter the Room of Consciousness once more, however, we found that this was a bit too hard at our current gear and level, so we decided to continue elsewhere. The Geobergs had requested us to speak with Scarlet, and finding her in the banquet hall, she asked us to gather information by listening in on the guests' conversations. This espionage quest will begin with us speaking with Lydian, just south of Scarlet. During the mission, you will have to head to specific spots in the banquet hall, and chat dialogues will automatically appear upon reaching those areas. These locations are just north of Vincent and party to the left of the western staircase, triangulated between 3 NPCs just left of the carpet, 1 cell south of Skya and party, south between the party of 5 and the planted flower bush, in the center of the rug between the Herald and Louvier, next to the Maiden from Amatsu, and finally just east of Louvier, touching the carpet. We then return to Scarlet and level up. This will also net you with an additional 10 honor tokens. Our journey then had us sail to the mercantile city of Alberta, where we meet with the Royal Guard by the docks. After speaking with the Guardian Knight, head to Prontera Prison, where you will speak with the NPC behind bars named Bigfoot. He refuses to speak with you on an empty stomach, so you'll need to fetch him a green salad and 3 spicy bows. These can be easily farmed in Sarah's dungeon, so be sure not to sell them if they drop. Once you complete his request, he will direct you to Vanes. Taking the airship to Rachel and then the cool event staff teleporter to Vanes, we speak with Kay, who will give you a sealed letter. Return the sealed letter to Eisenhonor and level up. Heading back to the Victor family, we speak with Isaac, who gives a package for us to deliver. Apparently being the guest of honor entails playing delivery dude for the royal families. We then speak with Wolf and hand over the parcel, who asks us to unlock the box with a combination. This combination is 1618. After opening the lockbox, you are told to investigate rumors by speaking with a group of children just east of the practice dummies in Prontera. The children will have you prove yourself to them by hunting 33 Majoros, as well as collecting 12 silk cloth and a book from the Prontera library. Heading to Glassheim, we go to the culverts until we find the underground Cave Floor 2, where we fight the 33 Majoros. Also, while you're here, be sure to collect at least 3 beef heads for a future turnip. Head back to town, and we recommend stocking up on flywings for this next part. Sail back to Alberta, where we take the ship to Kunlun labeled Gonryun. Continue to the northern cave and through one more portal where you'll find yourself in Hermit's Checkers. This is where it's recommended to use flywings, as this maze is tumultuous. Aim for the big island in the northeast of the map and head through the portal to Arcadia, where you will find your prey. Here we hunt evil nymphs, and upon obtaining the 12 soft silk, we'll head back to the library located southeast of the banquet hall in Prontera. Here we speak with the uptight librarian and request a book that will make you answer 4 questions. The answers to these questions are: in memory of defeating Marok, 7 royal families, Geoberg and Walther, and the Geoberg. She will award you with the Rune Midgard's history book, at which point you will report your findings to the Lofty Children and be directed to return to Wolf. Upon returning to Wolf Rogenberg in the last room of the Eastern Wing in Prontera Castle, you are given a top-secret document to take to Isaac. Return to Wolf once more and he will send you on a mission to find Helmut, which takes us to Aldebaran, where we will head north to the eastern part of a map right before the bridge, where we will find him training with his soldiers. Be sure to fend off any mobs before you get here though, as this will lock you in a cutscene, leaving you unable to interact with any of the enemies. Speak with Maximilian Rogenberg upon returning, and inform him of Helmut's message, and Wolf will have you seek out a man named Meyer. Maybe the children know of his whereabouts. Speaking with the children, Jonathan Meyer actually finds you and informs you of his gripe with Wolf. Returning to Wolf leveled both of us up and awarded our efforts with 10 additional honor tokens. While in the Rogenberg's quarters, we speak with Agnes, who is a tailor, and requests you to gather 3 pearls and 50 feathers. The pearls can be obtained from Medusas, which you can find in Komodo Dungeon, easily accessible from the dungeon teleporter, and the feathers can be easily obtained from leaf lunatics, so it's time to slaughter some more innocent woodland creatures in Lasagna. Once we gather her supplies and return to Agnes for an easy level and 10 more honor tokens, we finally head to the kitchen to finish the last of the Royal Banquet side quests. Speak with a head chef who will have you talk with the sauce master. Here he will have you gather ingredients for him based on the specifications he mentions. These are all random, so gather whichever set he mentions according to the adjective he uses. For soft, use the butter. For refreshing, use the muka juice. For chewy, use the pouring jelly. And for bright light, use the shining plant. Upon finishing the sauce master's request, deliver the ingredient to the head chef and step into the empty spot on the cooking line, where you will assist in creating the grilled griffin for the main course. Deliver the griffin to the southwesternmost table in the dining hall, then speak with the NPC just north named Tamarin. He'll then direct you to an NPC named Diu in the main banquet hall. After finding Diu, speak with Maggie, who will send you up the stairs to speak with a man named Mark. You will then speak with the adjacent NPC named Alice, who will then send you back to Tamarin. Upon speaking with Tamarin, take out your frustration on becoming a royal errand boy on the surrounding dishes. Collect 15 high-class plates by attacking them, which will have a chance to automatically add them into your inventory. Return to the kitchen once you've obtained the 15 plates, and speak with the dishwasher, who will send you to the head chef to be rewarded for your efforts. We then head to our last request from the Vigners to investigate the kitchen. At this point, it's wise to gather the necessary ingredients before continuing this quest to minimize travel. These ingredients are 1 holy water, easily purchased by player vendors or through an acolyte character with Aqua Benedicta, 1 mold powder obtained from punks in Clock Tower Floor 1, 1 orange obtained from baby desert wolves on Sograt Desert 11, 1 lemon dropped by mermen in the Undersea Tunnel 5, or from clocks in Clock Tower Floor 2, or from the Minoros in Pyramid B1F. You also may have gotten lucky with the Majoros you fought earlier in Glassheim Cave. You'll also need 1 alcohol best bought from merchants in Prontera, and you'll need to find 1 fine sand acquired from sleepers on Juno Field 2. You'll also need those 3 beef heads that I spoke of earlier from the Majoros, and finally 1 witherless rose from Wild Roses in Umbala Field 4. Note that the witherless roses have a much better rate of drop at 3% off of Mavka. However, these mobs are located in Moscovia Dungeon, which is not previously covered in this guide and requires a lot more running around to unlock. So we'll be skipping it for now. And it didn't take us long at all to find them from Wild Roses. If covering dungeon entrance quests is something you're interested in us covering, please let us know in the comments below. Now, this quest line began from Louvière ou Vigner, and Katrin believes that her lost jewelry box has been stolen by the maid. Speak with the maid in the kitchen, who has become very defensive about your line of questioning. She'll then give you 3 pouring loofahs to assist her with cleaning before she'll help you any further. Located by the shining plant ingredient on the eastern wall next to the basket of bread, the pouring loofah will come to life. Using 1 mold powder and 1 holy water, we click on the spot on the wall next to the basket of bread, and then we help the loofah transcend and move on to the next spot. Continue south by the cauldron, and the second sponge will come to life, requesting an orange and alcohol in order to clean the stuck-on grease. Upon scrubbing away the stuck-on grease, continue to the northwestern part of the kitchen between the muka juice and the fireplace. The third loofah will come to life, requesting fine sand and a lemon. Scrub, scrub, scrub till your arms nearly fall off, and return to the maiden and tell her of your efforts. She'll begin to ramble about broken furniture and send you to chase down the person in charge of the furniture in Prontera. At this point, you'll find a delivery man in southwestern Prontera, but due to his hunger, he will refuse to help you until you give him the 3 exotic beef head slices that you obtained earlier. After the jerk eats the jerk, he reveals the location of the missing box, and you may now return to Jürgen Vigner, who states he has become enamored with the maid and requests your assistance in winning her affection. The siblings speak of a piece of jewelry that they can forge using the witherless rose, as well as 10 sea stones now obtainable by defeating Medusas in Komodo Dungeon. Use the dungeon teleporter and dispatch of the Medusa until you obtain the required materials. Return to Jürgen and the maid will appear, rejecting the prince, and you'll be awarded with 1 million XP, 500,000 job XP, and 10 more honor tokens, bringing us to a total of 80 honor tokens. Note that many of these quests can be repeated daily for additional XP and honor tokens, including this one, where Jürgen tries to win the affection of the maid once more, and it's revealed she's actually a man dressed in drag in order to hide her secret whereabouts. At this point, we've gathered enough honor tokens to exchange them for our Noblesse gear. To acquire these, head to the Prontera prison and speak with the Noblesse exchanger, where you'll see the gear. Be sure to purchase the armor, boots, manto, and ring that are appropriate for your chosen build, as well as 3 upgrade tokens. Using these upgrade tokens with the equipment unequipped in your inventory, you can instantly bring these pieces of armor to a +9. This tripled Kaz's and mine raw damage. At this point, we felt that we were prepared enough to try an instance known as Sunken Tower and headed to Letitia in Alberta to give it a try. Sunken Tower is an infinite dungeon with a set time of 30 minutes to ascend as many floors as possible. The mobs here will scale depending on your level range and only ever auto attack, but will have special resistances to damage types. So it's recommended to keep elemental weapons or elemental converters on you. Every 5 floors, you'll be rewarded with a hefty amount of XP, and after the half hour is up, the dungeon will be on cooldown for 3 days. Now, on our VIP characters, this is absolutely worth doing every 3 days, but due to the resource requirement for our F2P builds to survive such an onslaught of mobs with no item drops to alleviate our pockets, we found this not to be worth it for us due to the expenditure, but your mileage may vary. After a new day, we restocked on our supplies and re-entered Sarah's memory once more for the raw Zenny, and then headed to Prontera to join the Illusion Investigation team, and headed to Payon, who directs us to a Miyun. Miyun tells us to head to Payon Cave and assist with the Illusion of Moonlight investigation. We are then teleported directly to Payon Cave 4, where we can interact with the shimmering lights to be teleported to the Illusion Dungeon. Note that you can return here by speaking with a young scholar to be teleported to the same spot directly outside of Payon Cave. Speak with all the NPCs and take all of the available quests, including the job boards, and begin your hunts for Angry Ninetails, Resentful Soldiers, Resentful Munichs, Resentful Bongans, Resentful Sohis, Deranged Adventurers, and the Wizard of Truth. Note that the Wizard of Truth can be a lot to handle for F2Pers, as he can cast Snowstorm and Lord of Vermilion. Not only that, he has an instant respawn rate, and when lured away, he can often spawn multiple iterations of himself, so be careful when in the southwestern part of this map. We ended up finishing all of the hunts here except for the Deranged Adventurers due to the low spawn rate. And while we were here, we actually managed to find the illusionary Apple of Archer, and this is a great boon for Kaz's ranger build. And we were able to ascend past level 115 when we turned them all in.
Hello.
And that concludes this episode for the F2P series, so thank you all so much for watching. If you're enjoying this series, please leave a like and subscribe. Your help in spreading these videos have been phenomenal and the channel growth has been tremendous. Join us next time where we'll be hunting down the illustrious Crimson weapons and farming safe to 7 armor certificates all for free in Ragnarok Online. And if you'd like to join the lovely portings here in chat, go to twitch.tv/geeksanonymous and we'll see you there. So until next time, toodaloo.
Goodbye.